Hello everybody, hope you're doing really well. Welcome to Phoenix History, and welcome to an incredible exclusive that we've got to show you today. The team is out, which means it's a very special one that we've got. Paul, please explain to us where we're at and what we're doing.
Oh, definitely, thank you, Dan. Welcome in everybody. We are at a fantastic site today, a lot of digging. We have sitting just outside Rochester at Fort Borstal. Massive thank you to the owners Kevin and Nikki for allowing us the access today. We've already been on a cheeky little tour around. It's massive, this place. It is so brilliant, and we're going to give you what we can find and bring into you what we've just experienced.
Thoughts and feelings, Soph?
It's absolutely incredible and immaculate. And
obviously Jensen.
Good and big.
Love it, mate. Really love that.
Thumbs out.
We're going to pass you over now to the owners who've got a few bits to talk about, and then once they've spoken, we're going to give you the classic Phoenix History, beautiful history lesson that, on a table of turnings, has been provided by Paul with his dulcet tones that are going to hopefully enlighten you and inspire you for this wonderful historical documentation. We are going to do this as professionally as possible. For us, we're just really giddy about this opportunity. So it's a massive opportunity for us to do this, and hopefully it's just going to provide a proper documentation of the history of this place, starting now. See you on the other side. Bye everybody.
Yeah, hi there. My name's Kevin Ward. This is my wife Nikki, and we own Fort Borstal, which is a Napoleonic fort, one of the 5 that was built in Medway. The first one to be built, finished in 1896 and constructed by the Royal Engineers and by a little prison labour from Borstal Prison.
So we took ownership of the fort around 3 years ago, and we are hopeful that we can restore it to former glories. We're trying to work our way around the site with priorities, and it's going to be a labour of love, but we really want to make sure that the fort comes back to life again and is used for lots of good purposes going forward.
And I think that's really important to us. Even when it was finished, the fort really, had no purpose. The Napoleonic period was over, and the way wars were fought was very different. It was repurposed in World War I as a billeting station for the troops marching from London to Dover, and then repurposed again in World War II when it had heavy guns and artillery, anti-aircraft guns fitted, so it actually has fired in anger as part of the defences in World War II.
I suppose the other thing to say is that its future life is hopefully going to be as a winery. It's perfectly situated on south-facing chalk soil, so it will have a really positive future, hopefully. And thank you guys for coming. This place has been shut up for too long. We're really keen to share with everyone its amazing history and its real beauty, and hopefully what you guys see today will be really useful. So thank you.
Welcome to Fort Borstal, a fascinating site that stands a testament to the evolution of military engineering and the defence strategies of the late 19th and 20th centuries. Located in the southeast of England, on a hilltop overlooking the Medway Valley, Fort Borstal is not just a relic of the past, it's a story of innovation, resilience and adaptation. Fort Borstal was constructed in the late 19th century as part of the Chatham Ring fortifications, a chain of forts designed to protect the strategically important Chatham dockyard. Forts Bridgewood, Halstead, Luton and Borstal all played an important part in the protection of the dockyard. Its construction began in 1877 using convict labour from the nearby Borstal prison. The fort was built during a time of rapid change in military technology, and its design reflects a shift from traditional bastion forts to polygonal forts. By the time it was completed around 1900, Fort Borstal was one of the last large land forts ever built in the United Kingdom. Fort Borstal's design was groundbreaking for its time. It featured deep concrete-lined ditches, ramparts for mounting guns, and bomb-proof underground shelters known as casemates. Unlike earlier forts, it admitted caponiers, projecting gun galleries because they were very vulnerable to high-angled artillery fire. Instead, it relied on musketry galleries behind the ditch walls for close defence. The fort's ramparts were designed to accommodate mobile field guns rather than the fixed emplacements, reflecting the military doctrine of the late 19th century. During World War I, Fort Borstal was repurposed as an anti-aircraft site to defend against German Zeppelins and Gotha bomber raids. In 1917, the fort's anti-aircraft guns successfully shot down a German Gotha bomber during a moonlight raid, making a significant achievement in Britain's early air defence efforts. The guns used at the time were likely 18-pounder field guns adapted for anti-aircraft use. By the late 1930s, as the threat of aerial bombing grew, Fort Borstal underwent major changes to become a dedicated anti-aircraft gun site. 4 octagonal gun emplacements were constructed on the ramparts, later expanded to 6 by 1943. These emplacements housed powerful 4.5-inch anti-aircraft guns, capable of firing up to 8 rounds per minute with a maximum ceiling of 44,000 feet. The fort also featured a battery command post equipped with height finders and predictors, mechanical computers that calculated the trajectory needed to intercept enemy aircraft. During the Battle of Britain in 1940, Fort Borstal played a critical role in defending the Medway Valley and the nearby Shorts aircraft factory situated on the banks of the River Medway. On September the 15th, 1940, the fort's gunners shot down 3 enemy planes in a single day, a remarkable feat that underscored the importance of anti-aircraft defences during the war. By the 1960s, it had fallen into disuse, and parts of the site were repurposed for agricultural use, including a piggery. In 1990, the fort was sold to private ownership, and while some restoration work was carried out, unauthorised modifications caused limited harm to its historical significance. Today, Fort Borstal is a scheduled monument, protected under the 1979 Ancient Monuments and Archaeological Areas Act. Its current owners aspire to repurpose the site as a winery, with vines already planted on the south-facing slopes outside the scheduled area. This vision aims to balance the fort's preservation with sustained modern use, ensuring its legacy endures for future generations. Fort Borstal is more than just a military relic. It's a window into the past, showcasing the ingenuity of the late 19th century fortifications and the resilience of Britain during the 2 world wars. As we look to its future, the challenge lies in preserving its historical significance while adapting to its modern needs. So join us on our journey, exploring this amazing site. Let's walk in the footsteps of our heroes and see what we can find.
Hi everybody, welcome back. As you can see now, we've just made our way into one of the many magazines that's dotted around the fort. I think there's a couple we've just walked past through the corridor. As you can see, there's a couple of modern light fittings around at the moment, but as you can see, very good condition, and you can see the ventilation shafts up above. Just the general tidiness of this place is absolutely phenomenal. Hi guys, welcome back. We've just gone through from the magazines, and we've come out to a bit of a courtyard now. But just to our right, we've got something that obviously everyone needs. It's the toilets. Come and have a look. Welcome in, everybody. As you can see, we've just come through to another part of the magazines, and quite happily say this one's been modified slightly over the years. I believe it's been used for some functions and that kind of thing within the magazines. So let's go down and have a little look, shall we? Guys, we've just walked through the end of the corridors and we've come back to the end of the fortifications. As you can see, we're here now where the loopholes are, and you can see through the gap there out into the ditches and the moat that goes around this fort. Guys, one of the things that we've noticed in here is the condition of this place is absolutely phenomenal. You can see how clean it is in here. But we've just noticed something on the wall that we just want to quickly show you. There is a little bit of graffiti in here. And it does go back quite a few years as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head back that way. We're going to go to the other far end, and we're going to have a look at the fortifications of that side. So come on, let's go. Right guys, we've managed to get to the other end now. One of the things that we've noticed is the brickwork. I mentioned it before about how clean it is, but this is all original brickwork. Nothing's been reinforced, so no steel girders or anything like that inside this. That's why the brickwork on here is immaculate, how it is still standing here like it is today. So now we're going to go and have a little walk outside, and we're going to go and find you something. It's pretty interesting. Come on. Hey guys, welcome back. Like I say, we're in another magazine here, but this one, a little bit quirky. Previous owners of the property use some of these magazines, a bit of an entertainment thing. As you can see, decked out here in a bit of a theme of a bar and a club really. Look at that, half a car. Who has half a car? Brilliant. But come and have a look at this. This is amazing. Just have a look inside here. Guys, welcome into Christina's bar. As you can see, decked out, even on the top there. Now don't quote me wrong on this one, 1960s Harley. I could be wrong, but isn't this place amazing for a little bit of a party? Right guys, just part of the club bar area, shall we say. The owners actually found something lying in one of the ditches around the fort here. If we could just have a look at this. It's actually actual bullet holes that they use for target practice. They were doing it round in the moat and they found this alongside many other artefacts still lying in the moat. Who knows, we might have a little look to see what we can find.
Hi everybody, and welcome to one of the 4 heavy anti-aircraft gun pits that is situated on top of Fort Borstal. The idea was they had a really incredible commanding view, very similar to some of the other forts that were used, repurposed during World War II, and we'll probably discover that when we go across, because we can see the command post as well, which is just behind us right in the centre of the fort. But here is the furthest one to our side. We've got 3 more behind us and we will take a look at them, all in various stages of condition. But if you come with me, you've still got the holdfasts that are located on the gun pit itself, on the gun mountings. So it really gives us a great idea. In some of the others that we'll take a look at, you can actually see the original ammo cartridges storage as well, which is fantastic. But one final thing I've got to mention in terms of this, we've got a very modern piece of history that we're going to take a look at, but we've got to go that way, so come with us, come on. Hi everybody, so we've just come back to the far end of the Fort Borstal itself, and actually just below us is a very steep embankment, which is basically the defensive ditch, really the fortified ditch of the fort itself, and then beyond us is the vineyard, or the vineyard, however you want to pronounce it. But what's really cool is, whilst I'm sitting here, a really great thing which is down here. This, interestingly enough, is a survey marker. Now you're thinking, well, what is there to survey up here if we've already got the fort? If you come with me and you take a look, we've covered this already. We're talking about the Medway viaducts, and this was used as a survey marker for the viaducts themselves. Anyway, let's take a further look at some of these World War II heavy anti-aircraft gun pits and keep exploring. Come on. Hi everybody, welcome back. We are now at a trig point. which obviously means of higher elevation, and we're literally now in the centre of Fort Borstal. And obviously in reference to, as you can hear the wind because we're quite high up, obviously in reference to that we've got something really interesting behind us. So we've spoken already about the heavy anti-aircraft emplacements, which there are 4 of, but we're thinking this is, because of its square emplacement and obviously the ammunition stores that are here, this is more than likely a light anti-aircraft Bofors, which there was 2 of. Not sure where the other one is. It might be actually behind the command post. We've not checked yet, but we assume this was for the Bofors light anti-aircraft pit. And what you can see is it's a square emplacement, and then either side you've got these wonderful little gun ammo pits, which are very similar to obviously the heavy anti-aircraft ones. But if you look above us, you can see really again the commanding views that we've got with the 4 heavy anti-aircraft emplacements protecting Medway itself. Remarkable to sort of actually put this all into context, so hopefully you appreciate that. Let's check out the other 3 remaining gun pits, and then we're gonna have to go back underground, I'm afraid. Come on.
Guys, welcome back. As you can see, in front of the anti-aircraft post, you can see on the floor in front of us is a little train track. Believed that it was used to run the ammunition from underneath where we saw the magazines up on top level here, and then we can go along, presumably in little carts, to all the gun positions we have on top here. Rumour has it there was a train track that led to the other forts along the front line here. Bridgewood, which is just beyond yonder, Halstead round the corner, and Fort Luton as well. Not too sure on that, but as you can see, these train tracks here still in very good condition, and you can see how they accessed the anti-aircraft positions.
Hello everybody, so we're at now the far heavy anti-aircraft one. Basically they're all in various states of condition, and actually what you notice on some of these, obviously they've still got the ammunition stores that are here, and pretty much quite standard for what normally survives really. The idea is obviously your ammunition would have been placed in there for quick access to obviously help fire the heavy anti-aircraft gun. But you normally see like the framework for these huge shutters that would have been in place here. And then if we come round, you've still got, as was similar for all of them really, these wonderful holdfasts which have literally held fast the gun in place. But again, it's the commanding views that are really fascinating, and more importantly, it just really puts into the different phases of this fort itself, which is absolutely incredible. So now we've got to go back underground, so let's go do it. Come on.
Guys, welcome back. Now we come to a really fascinating part. This bit here is a mirror copy of the other side of the fort underneath, but this one hasn't got any lighting. This one has been left to its own devices for many years, but as on Phoenix History, we're going to go and take a look. Come on.
So everybody, we've walked to one of the lesser explored sections of Fort Borstal, which is basically the opposite fortified tunnel. And the idea really is that fundamentally, if you needed a practical defence, you quickly go into this tunnel section, you come through to this side, you've got gun loops or gun recesses really fundamentally. And the idea is what you get to do is on this, you get to shoot downwards. So really the fundamental question is that obviously it just puts into the idea that you're then shooting from a certain angle, like caponiere, which is obviously, we know the main caponières are actually underground that are buried at the moment at the front of Fort Borstal. But it's very interesting to note really where we are. The section, if you follow us this way, Jensen, if you sort of take a look here, you can sort of see that actually it's not a blocked off section, but it's a purposeful section. Not exactly sure what that's probably used for. More likely some ammunition storage or something quite similar to that. But we know that it's interesting that both two tunnels are quite different in lots of ways, but obviously the steepness of the stairs would have meant you would have had a very good exercise running up and down either way. So now we've explored both of them, and this is like the lesser explored one. Let's take a look at one final tunnel. You're going to really like it. Come on.
Hey guys, welcome back. We're now at the probably the interlinking part of the fort now, which links us from the middle section to around the front where we started from. I believe inside here as well is the officers' quarters. So come on, let's come and have a look, see what we can find.
Welcome everybody to, as you've seen before, one of the cartridge stores. What's really incredible about this is the fact that the word cartridge store is still actually intact from its originality. We're pretty familiar with these if you've been to many forts or you've explored many forts. These originally would have been where the lamps would have been placed in these stores to obviously illuminate, but they would have been protected by a sort of filter, sort of glass really, is the best way of describing it. And we've seen a few of these. Isle of Grain's quite a classic example, or Grain Fort, they still have all of these in place, and basically you can just see really where the lamps would have been correctly positioned inside. And then you've got these wonderful, amazing cartridge stores. You've also got a little passageway, if we head back a little bit and then round, you've also got a little passageway which is where you can put the lamps. So you can see from the reflection of these how well they were. You've also got a wonderful little vent as well, because obviously these lamps are going to be a little bit smoggy and they're going to need a little bit of air. So this is where you place your lamp in, and reflect for the cartridge store. Amazing to see actually what looks like to be one of the original doors. From the looks of it, we were sort of like carefully ignoring to a degree. But more importantly, what a fascinating piece of history. We can explore the rest of the tunnel and see what other secrets this fort has got to offer. Come on. Alright, so basically we're now in what we assume to be at least some of the officers' lodgings or quarters, and the reason why that sort of gives us a bit of an indication is because these are the fireplaces. And they're all numbered, as you probably saw. In fact, actually, the numbers are actually pretty more clearly labelled above. This is number 6. It's the furthest one to the intersection and tunnel. And obviously, as you can see, it could easily be defended if it needed to as well. And it's amazing how you still see the original sort of green paint that is obviously decorated. And obviously what would have been some hinges as well for some basically some sort of like forms of flaps, etc., etc. What's crazy is that obviously its main use after this was weirdly as stables, and we know it was as stables because every single one of these had a beautiful swinged door for the horses that could have been taken in and out. But yeah, amazing that these fireplaces still exist, apart from number one, which is the first one we went into, and that was blocked, and it was also facing a different direction. Every other chimney, or every other section, at least, of the fireplaces would have been facing on this side. So we've pretty much done the really cool sections these times. It's amazing to sort of like look up and see the lights as well. Some of these look like they date to World War II, some of these as well. But remarkable. The condition is still interesting and fascinating. Believe it or not, we're not done yet. So let's carry on going. Come on. Everybody, so we're now just at the far entrance of the tunnel. This is interesting in a lot of ways because, as we've spoken about before, really the predominant two phases were really when it was sort of built and when it was used to fortify, but obviously as we know, we've got the World War II section. This is a World War II part. It says, no, we can only assume what we can read on it, but it does say notice, fire point number, really difficult to read that, 12 or 1, 2, I think, or NOS, N-O-S, 1, 2, can't really read anything else on that, it's not really coming through very, water, that is, W-A-T-E-R, something. And then if we look on the opposite side, there's another one, which weirdly enough isn't in red, but it's almost identical, so it says notice, but that says, doesn't look like fire, that doesn't look a point, fire point would be the same, looks like box to me, the fire box maybe, hard to tell on that one, we do apologise, we're trying our best, but it's not in red, it's clearly been painted over as a black sort of colour instead to not make a difference. I can't testify to the idea of what I know knowledge-wise on that, my limitations on that, but we definitely know that this was dated to its World War II side. Also a beautiful arrow that's pointing that way as well. However, we're not going that way. We're going this way, and we've almost wrapped up Fort Borstal, so stay with us, because we've got a cracking couple of treats left. Come on.
Guys, as we say, we've just walked out of the some of the officers' quarters, and just outside here we've got obviously the officers' toilets. So come on, let's go and have a look. Hi guys, welcome back into this little room that we've just found up top. Underneath us, remember the cartridge store that we just we had a little look at? I believe this is where the ammunition came from below and brought it up here, up until up to level.
everybody, welcome to, we're near the end now, and in a strange bit of historical interest, we are at the World War II command post. So a lot of this will be quite familiar to you if you've done heavy anti-aircraft batteries. We need a command post to command, to relay the instructions to the guns themselves. And as you can probably see, if we look over here, you can see all the guns in sequence. 1, 2, and then 3 and 4 in the distance. But what's strange about this, I've never seen this before in my life. So actually I'm laughing, but I'm laughing in a kind of like, oh, okay, you know, like never seen this before. I would be very interested if any of you have seen the same thing. This command post has now was formerly turned into living quarters. I don't know what to say. It's interesting. If you come with me, this looks to be probably like the generator room of the headquarters. And then if you come down here, I mean, you know, yeah, welcome to a living space, which is a command post. Can you believe it? So this used to be formerly a World War II command post that got converted into living. You can see a kitchen, you can see formerly it was a bed frame, very cosy little setup here, bed frames there. You can also see storage facilities, a former clock as well, which is crazy. And then obviously you've got a sofa as well, which is just really bizarre to note that you're in a World War II command post that has been converted. And it depends if you've visited command posts before, but it's really bizarre being in here. You wouldn't know you're actually in one. They've done such an amazing job of completely converting it. If you come with me though, let's head out. There's a shower and toilet, you know, which let's just jokingly say isn't original, as we can probably safely say. But if you come out here, if you have a look and you follow me, what looks to be probably one of the generator blocks, although I'm not sure, I think it is actually because they look like generator vents, has been converted into washing and drying in a World War II command post. It's bizarre. It's very bizarre and very interesting. So yeah, welcome to, I don't know, of all the things at Fort Borstal, it just definitely has to add to the interest of this place. But if you help come out here with me, what this command post does do is it really gives you an incredible view, like we spoke about before. And it's essential that this was at the location it was purposely suited purely by accident to sort of coincide with the fort and the way the fort was built, because we're slap bang in the middle of the fort, like I said, overlooking Medway. But remarkable. So let's just have one more final treat for you, and then I think we're going to wrap it up. Come on. Hi everybody, so our final section of Fort Borstal. The only thing we haven't covered is the outer section, the outer ditch, etc, of Fort Borstal, but you never know. If you want us to do that, let us know, because we've been granted access to do that. We really wanted to focus on its history and the inside of it. So to end on, our final section is really obviously part of the main hub really of the fort itself during its period in time. We've been fortunate enough to actually go in there, but unfortunately we're not going to go in there now because it's been converted at the moment, but it's been done in such a really nice and authentic way, which is fantastic. So they've modernised it, they've done it in a really respectful way, and they're working with a few historical societies to help bring this wonderful place back to life in some sort of form. So it's amazing what the owners have done. Really, this would have been used as mainly storage, but also for use as well. So up above us there was like a chimney, again used as a quarters as well, and obviously you've got the ammunition stores as well that were in there. But really we've pretty much covered most of it. So let's say goodbye and we'll go from there. Come on. Hello, everybody.
Dramatic.
Core blimey. We're knackered. Drone footage supplied by Sophie. Thank you. Well done. Amazing footage, by the way.
Yeah.
Jensen has been our carrier of carrying things, behind the
bearer.
scenes. And obviously Paul and me have taken double duty on hopefully giving you... We're very cautious that when we do these videos, we don't want to give away too much outside of the history lessons, because we want to cover it as a general thing, but we also want to sort of show you around within reason that we document it. Hopefully that makes sense to all of you. We know it makes sense to us. Sometimes we've got to leave a little bit back, and that's a decision I've always made with this channel, is that once you get your history lesson, we can leave a little bit back. It always gives you the encouragement out there, which I think is fair to say. Thoughts and feelings, please, individuals.
Amazing. Massive thank you to Kevin, Nikki, the owners of this amazing place, granting us access to walk round, learn a lot more about this place and bring it back to you guys. So thank you, Dan, Sophie, Jensen, thank you everybody out there. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's been really good today.
Gents?
Good.
Yeah. Which is quite a big thing.
Yeah.
It has been good, hasn't it? It's been epic. It's huge.
Yeah.
Some surprises, but it's been really good. It's been awesome. In fact,
Yeah.
it's in such good condition. It's immaculate. It's amazing.
Definitely.
There have been some surprises
Yes.
and interesting all around, really. I mean, and thankfully, the most important thing is that we, like I said, we get to not only document this, but we know that this place is in safe hands for the future.
Yes.
And that really is the most important thing. Yes, there are alterations and changes, but actually they're not outside the remit of what this fort was. And when you think of what the condition was before this, I think anything that gets improved, any new renovation that gets taken place, which we've seen, can only be a bonus. So thank you so much to both of you and Jensen for obviously helping me out, because I've always said if it wasn't for all three of you, actually, I wouldn't be doing much like this anymore, as we all know, and I think it's testament to all of you lot out there. Thank you also to every single one who's been subscribing and giving us the enthusiasm and encouragement out there, because without all of you lot as well, we wouldn't have these opportunities to do that. We said thank you to the owners, and massive. They've been so welcoming.
Yes.
And the dogs have been absolutely adorable. Sophie's had I'd be jealous, actually. You had quite a big fix of it, didn't you, really?
It was adorable.
Yeah. And hopefully with all this, we've given you a wonderful review of our own experience with this, and the fact that we're going to pinch ourselves as per usual, because we're going to come away with this and go, we are probably the only people that we're aware of that have fully documented this on video for all of you properly.
Yeah.
And hopefully, like I said, within a few mistakes of probably mislabeling a few things, if you can forgive us on that, that's okay. We all have our historical knowledge, and unfortunately Fort Borstal sort of like is more of a learning one for us, no matter how many faults we've done, etc, so forgive us on that. We know its purpose. It's just some of the buildings we always have to take our time with, just to make sure exactly what we've done, so please forgive us on that. We're not experts on this time period. Indeed. Although we are experts on not experts, didn't want to dub myself in there now, but we're quite familiar with World War II stuff and heavy anti-aircraft stuff, which is also interesting. Very interesting. Take care. Much love to every single one of you out there. Thank you so much. Like I said, really, it's hard not to get emotional over this stuff when you come to the end of it and you wrap it up. Thank you, Sophie, from the bottom of my heart. I really mean this for the drone footage, because Sophie's an actual official drone pilot, everybody. So there you go. And thanks, mate, for arranging this and doing everything else. And cheers, Jensen, for helping old man like me carry his bags. But you had a good time though, didn't you, mate? That's all right. Yeah, I didn't force him. Don't have a go. Take care, everybody. And in more words of Phoenix history, because history matters. And we will, of course, see y'all very soon. Are you ready? Full so excited. Kapow!